Welcome to the Femalepreneur Coach podcast. I am your host, Rebecca Barr. I am a transformational mindset and business coach and six-figure award-winning female entrepreneur. Ladies, I'm here to tell you that business and making money doesn't have to be hard when you're in alignment and flow. Inside this podcast, I will be showing you how to transform your mindset to program it for success, how to maximize your money vibrations, and how to redesign your business for ultimate financial and time freedom. You know you are meant to live an epic life. Now it's time to claim it.
Well, I've just got back. I'm just rearranging the whole office as we speak.
Amazing. So I'm just going to start recording. So I think we're live. So hi, ladies. Thank you so much for anybody that's watching in Facebook or have submitted your questions. I am so excited for today's session. I can't even tell you. We are going to be joined by one of my soul sisters now, Rachel. Like we're that close, whether you feel it or not. Like you're now officially like a soul sister to me. We've just come back from LA together. She is an absolute fucking powerhouse sales coach, the UK's leading sales coach, don't you know? To the point where I've also been in her sales containers as well, because she's absolutely shit hot at everything she does. Anything Rachel tells me to do, I'm absolutely there with bells on, because she is just amazing. So she is going to be delivering an absolute jam-packed session with you today, all around what we discussed, kind of the overall sales strategy. It's almost like sales for introverts, isn't it? Because it's launching without launching. But I will hand over to Rachel. Sarah and I are both in the comments. So if you've got anything that you want to put to Rachel, there's space at the end for a Q&A. Make sure that you're putting them in the comments. But otherwise, I'm going to obviously jump off, and Sarah and I will mute ourselves to allow Rachel to step into flow. I'm just going to make you the host.
Yeah, make me the host. Right.
Oh, the recording stopped. Sorry, you might now need to record. Sorry, Rachel.
Oh, yes. Let's hit record again.
Bloody technology.
Do you want me to record it to your cloud or my cloud?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. In fact, I think my cloud storage is full.
Oh,
you want to make me, if I make you host again and then you make me co-host, then it shouldn't stop.
Okay, amazing.
So let's make you host again.
We're like the Chuckle Brothers.
Yeah.
Me to you.
We will not be
I'm the host together.
We will not be challenged by technology.
Oh no, we move, don't we? That's the good thing about being surrounded by absolute powerhouse women. Like you just find a way, don't you? Sarah, I can't figure out how to make a host. It just says make host.
Does it not say make co-host?
No. Mute stop video chat pin. No.
Just host. Are you wanting to just screen share?
Yeah.
All right, let you go back to being host, and then just press on security, and it'll say share screen, and everyone can share screen.
Oh, there we go. Amazing. Sorry. Share screen.
There you go.
Is that okay?
Right, let's see. Oh yeah, it's saying I can share my screen.
Yay! I'm so excited for this.
How many amazing women does it take to work a Zoom account? Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. So should we go? Yeah, should we start? Fantastic. So thank you so much to Sarah and Rebecca for inviting me to be here. I feel the pressure of that introduction, Rebecca. So thank you for bigging me up as much as you just did. I'm feeling like I can take on the world now. But as you can see from my slides, we're going to cover a method that I've created myself for and with my clients, which I've called the silent launch method. And that's because when I first mentioned, it was on an Instagram live that I did, when I first mentioned that it's possible to launch your services without doing a big 5-day challenge, without launching into a massive series of masterclasses, I had so many DMs come in from people going, how do I do this silent launch thing? Because I am so done with the challenges. I'm so done with having to bring the energy. So as you might already be able to tell, I'm a complete and utter extrovert. I could live launch every day and not get tired, but most people aren't that way. Most people want to know how to sell their services and still maintain a degree of energy and mindset and resilience to be able to see their friends and family without, you know, falling asleep. So live launching is tough. So we are going to today go through the silent launch method. So great for introverts, great for anybody that's done a live launch and didn't enjoy it, great for anybody that's just starting out and doesn't necessarily want to go full speed into a massive live launch. Happy to take questions, but I do know that this slide deck does take me quite a while to deliver, so might be better to put questions at the end. So first bit is interactive. So if you are watching in the Facebook group and you want to get busy in the comment box, please do so. I want to have some words from you all on how you feel about live launching. How does it make you feel? When I delivered this last week, it was overwhelmed, exhausted, confused, knackered, you know, done with. So how do you feel about live launching? Just get clear in your mind. How does it actually make you feel? It might be that you like live launching, you just don't want to build your entire business model around it, which is exactly where I am with my business model. I serve my clients through a number of different containers, and those coaching containers are filled through a variety of things: social media, contact and building relationships, a live launch, and evergreen funnels. So you can have a business that does one of those things, all of those things, but you can also have a business that does silent launching. So let's move on. You are in the right place. I've already sort of gone through this. If you want to get sold out in your coaching or your online service business, but you don't enjoy live launching, this is absolutely the presentation for you. If you are an introvert or you struggle with your energy in some way, absolutely, you're going to learn a lot here. And if you love the idea of receiving inbound inquiries, so people coming to you so that you feel sought out, you feel searched for, rather than you always doing the hunting, the hustling. If you want to receive inbound inquiries from people saying, hey, how do I get to work with you? Then you're going to learn a lot in this presentation. So what do I know? Who the hell am I anyway? My name is Rachael Howarth. I spent many years as a corporate sales director. I worked for 17 years for Auto Trader. So anybody in the UK that's ever bought a car, you will know who Auto Trader is. Anybody that doesn't have a clue who Auto Trader is, it's the #1 automotive brand in the UK, whereby we had, at the time I was working for them, I had 13,500 customers in my department. I had 60 staff, and I had a target of £100 million to hit. And we used to have to go out and sell advertising and media services to car dealers who didn't want to spend any money. So it was quite a tough job. My team had to bring in £2 million every single week. So I learned sales the hard way, and I learned it in a male-dominated environment. I was a young 24-year-old girl when I first started working for them. Lots of middle-aged men tried to be very condescending to me, very hardball negotiation. So I learned sales the hard way. When I left corporate, I started at my own training consultancy, which was a face-to-face business, whereby we sold leadership, customer service, and sales and communication training to banks, to marketing agencies, to law firms, to accountancy practices. And all in all, I've trained over 2,000 people so far to sell. I've helped my clients in the online space make over $2 million. And I am now dedicating my life's work to helping female online service providers and coaches, because I am totally on a mission to help women create wealth through their expertise. So that's a little bit about me. Hopefully you now feel that you can trust what I'm about to share with you. And just so you know, there is no big sales pitch. A lot of the time you invite people in to come and do these presentations, and there's some big pitch at the end. Absolutely, there is no pitch within this presentation. I am not here to sell to you. I'm here to train you. But there is, for anybody that wants it, a free gift for you at the end, because we all love free stuff. So what is sales not? It is not about asking for money. And I know a lot of people fear sales because they feel that it is just them asking for money, which doesn't feel comfortable. Sales isn't about that. It's not about persuasion, and it's certainly not about being pushy. It's not a one-sided conversation. It should never be a one-sided conversation. And it is most definitely not linked to your self-worth. There will always be people who say yes, and there will always be people who say no. There's usually more people that say no than say yes. Most people have a conversion rate under 50%, which means in sales, you do need to be resilient. You do need to be able to separate getting a no from you as a person. If you get a no, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean your services are crap. It just means that that person wasn't right at that particular moment. But all in all, sales is about helping people. It is just a conversation between two people who can help each other. So for any of you that fear sales, or you resist it, you push it away because of how it makes you feel, I want you to ask yourself, how do you feel about helping people? Do you feel like there are people out there in your audiences right now who need your help? Because I guarantee that there are plenty of people out there who need your help. So all you're really doing when you're selling to them is giving them opportunity to say yes to that help. Okay, so it might be that you need to just work on your mindset around sales. So truth time, most people who struggle to sell their services are making the same mistakes. And they're not just making them once, they're making them over and over and over and over again. I see this and have seen this for years. And those mistakes are either having no strategy or strategy abandonment, which means having a strategy and putting it in place, but then not allowing that strategy enough time to be effective before you end up throwing in the towel and saying, oh, that didn't work. I tried a live masterclass, that didn't work. I've tried Facebook ads, that didn't work. I've tried Instagram, that didn't work. And you end up throwing in the towel on the strategy too soon. I can tell you this with complete confidence. Every sales strategy that you could use in the online space works. They all work. It's just a case of choosing the right one for you and then allowing that strategy enough time, which might include some reflection and review and then repetition and going again with a slight tweak or adjustment to the strategy to get it to really work for you. So nothing is an overnight success, because really, if it was that easy, everybody would be multimillionaires. And unfortunately, we are not. So we have to make sure that we put a strategy in place that we feel aligned with, but we're also prepared to give it enough time and enough commitment that we're able to reflect and review and refine and then repeat and go again. So do you feel committed to creating a strategy? I hope so. That is why you are watching this. I want you to get clear now on what is your goal for the second half of this year. We are, what, 2/3 of the way virtually through July? So we're already into the second half of the year. If you take out summer December for Christmas, then actually we've got less than 5 months left. What is it that you want to achieve? Get really, really, really clear about that goal, because it's going to help you for the rest of this slide deck to have that goal in your mind. Can't believe I just referred to Christmas while we're having a heat wave. So a typical launch. What does a typical launch look like? It could look for you something like a post and hope strategy. I think we've all done that, you know, hands up, guilty. We put a post out there and we keep our fingers and toes crossed, and guess what? We don't sell anything. And we call that a launch, and it really wasn't, it was a post. Another kind of launch could be a live masterclass, could be a 5-day challenge, could be a 3-day, 4-day, 5-day. I know people who've done 20-day challenges, 28-day challenges. So it could be a challenge. It could be a live online workshop that could be anything from like 1 day to 2 days. Yeah, but there are so many other ways that we can launch. And I want to open your mind to what these other ways are. And the way we're going to start with that is, I want you to think about who you are selling to. At any one time, your audience is at one of these 4 stages. They are either problem unaware, they don't know what their problem is right now, or they're problem aware, so they've discovered what their problem is. Then they move into solution aware, so they've discovered their problem and they're now aware of what a solution to that problem would look like, or the 3% of people that are solution seeking. Now, at any one time, 3% of your audience are solution seeking, which means 3% of your audience are easy to sell to because they're looking for the solution that you provide. The problem is that you don't know which that 3% is. You've got to call them out through your content. And you then look at the 14% of people that are solution aware. They might not be actively seeking your solution, but they're aware of what that solution needs to look like for it to be right for them. So the 14 and the 3 brings us to 17%, meaning that virtually a fifth of your audience should be fairly easy to sell to if you are delivering content that aligns to their solution, that talks about the desire that they have, that talks about what they want and why they want it. The hardest people to sell to, for obvious reasons, are the people that are problem unaware. And this is why we do educational content, to help make them aware. And then you've got the problem aware people. They kind of know what the problem is. These are the people that respond well when we talk about pain points. We empathize with where they're at. These are the people that would be interested in reading case studies that you might share, or your own personal story that you might share, where you talk about the problem that you had or your client had, and that they resonate with that, and then you take them on the journey of how you solved it. Yeah, so we've got different stages of the buyer journey, and your audience at any one time could be any one of these 4 stages, and that affects how well they respond to your content. So for those people at the front end of the customer journey, we need educational content and we need nurturing content. An example of good nurturing content would be when you go live. Yeah, going live is really great for nurturing because people get to see your body language, feel your energy, hear the way that you articulate yourself, maybe see you do a live Q&A, see how you respond to things. And that is nurturing because that builds trust, and it builds trust because they feel like they can really connect with you and get to know you. So if you aren't already, make sure that you are sharing educational content and nurturing content. And I'm sure some of you might have questions about that later. And then you've got the later stages of the customer journey, which is where authority content becomes really important, and then activating content. So authority content is where you're positioning yourself as the credible expert, exactly the way that you saw me do about 10 minutes ago when I told you that I trained over 2,000 people to sell. I'm positioning myself, hopefully in your eyes, as somebody whose opinion you can trust. So my question for you is, what are you sharing with your audience to position yourself as trustworthy, as credible, as the authority? Are you sharing facts, stats, awards that you've won, accolades, endorsements, testimonials, case studies, things that absolutely position you as the authority? That will help you to move the solution aware people into solution seeking. And then at the solution seeking end of the customer journey, that's where activating content is our best friend. So that is messaging that sounds something like, if you're a weight loss coach, if you want to lose half a stone and you want to lose that with the support of a coach who's got a proven background in weight loss and mindset for long-term weight loss, then DM me the word weight loss now. That would be activating content that's very, very aligned to what people want and then how they can access your support to get it. So they're the 4 stages of content I want to get you all thinking about. And obviously the highest conversion rates are seen at those final 2 stages. of the customer journey. Okay. So now I'm going to take you, now we've thought about content, I want to take you through my silent launch method, which is called shh, because we don't want to be loud and obnoxious. We don't want to feel that every day we have to show up like hustling and being really noisy. I call it megaphone marketing, you know, where you're just like, buy my thing. You don't want to have to do that, right? So I'm going to take you through the shush method. Perfect for you if you don't want to build your business and income around megaphone marketing. So here's the method: strategy, search, help, and how. These are the 4 stages that we are going to look at. The first one is your strategy. There are 5 simple steps to a very basic sales strategy, very simple sales strategy. And sales strategy does not have to be complicated. Yeah, I've supported, you know, consultancy clients with 10-page sales strategies and they looked really complicated, but actually they don't need to be. There's 5 key questions in a good sales strategy: what, who, why, when, and how many. Yeah, what do you want to sell? This is what you guys, if you haven't got a pen and paper, go grab one, write these things down. What is it that you would like to sell right now, this month, this week? My advice is one offer. Stick to one offer only. Write a sales strategy for one offer. Don't write a sales strategy for 3 offers, just the one. Okay, so what is it that you want to sell? The next part of your strategy is who. Who do you want to sell it to? The answer is the person that will get the most value from it. So a lot of the time I hear, you know, clients and people in my audience say to me, oh, I'm stuck on my niche, Rachel. I don't know, like, who should my niche be? And actually, you don't really need a niche. What you need is to understand who will get the most value from your offer. And it might be, if you've got a value ladder with multiple offers in it, then it might be your ideal client is slightly different for each offer. As long as you understand who is a good fit for each offer, the niche becomes irrelevant. So what do you want to sell and who will get the most value from it? Then why? Why is that result important to those people? And my advice would be that you list 3 to 5 benefits, 3 to 5 outcomes that your ideal client would say are really important to them. The 4th area is when. Every good sales strategy needs a timeline. So what's going to happen when? What are you going to post on day 1? What are you going to post on day 2 of your timeline? So if you say, I want to sell this one offer to this type of person who really needs it because of these things, and I want to sell it in that week there, let's say it's a 7-day period. What happens on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4? Like, what is your strategy using the content and the customer journey? How are you going to take people through those 4 stages of the customer journey with your content, with the way that you're showing up, with what you're sharing? How are you going to take them through that timeline? And then the 5th area is the numbers. How many do you want to sell? What's the price point and how many do you want to sell? So if you want to enroll 6 people in a group coaching program and the price of your offer is $5,000, you know you're going to bring in 30K. Yeah, so get clear on the numbers, be able to forecast the numbers and get really aligned to that strategy. So that's the first step of the shush method. You need to have all these questions answered and preferably, you know, noted down so that you feel really, really aligned to it. So for me, it could look like, I want to enroll clients into my online sales competence accelerator program. Who's it for? Who will get the most value? Female coaches who want to make more money and impact consistently. Why is that important to them? So that they can live a life with freedom and choice. When do I want to do that? By month end. And how many spaces do I want to sell? 5 at 8K, 40K. That could be, you know, an example of what it might look like for you. Yeah, so make sure that you've got clarity on your strategy before moving to the next stage of the shush method. So you're going to make a few notes. So the second stage is search. Now, search is very, very underrated, very underrated. I've literally just been with a face-to-face client now, a big business who really want to build a new business pipeline. And when I sat there and searched for them on Google, they were nowhere to be seen. So think about, if your ideal client was looking for you, how would they look for you? Where would they look for you? And what might they search for? Yeah. So what would they type into Google? What would they put into the Instagram search bar? What accounts would they be looking for? Would they go to Pinterest? Would they search for a tutorial on YouTube? Based on what you sell and who you sell it to, you should have an idea and understanding of where your client would be searching. Bex, I'm just gonna, I can't put you on mute.
Sorry, that's the baby.
That's all right, don't worry, do not worry. Yeah, so think about your customer journey. If they were at problem unaware stage, they probably wouldn't be searching at all. If they were problem aware, they would search for the problem. If they were solution aware, they would search for the solution. And if they were solution seeking, they would search for exactly what it is that they need. Now, the problem that we sometimes have is that your clients might think that they've got one problem, but the reality might be that their problem is something else. So again, take a weight loss coach example. You might have a client that thinks that their last diet didn't work and that is their problem. They were on a really bad diet, but actually the problem was that they snack a lot. So they might look for new diets when really what they need to be looking for is solutions for snacking. Story of my life, really. But you see the point, yeah? We might have clients that think their problem is one thing when really it's another. So start thinking about search, start thinking about what your client would search for. Do you want to search for your ideal client, or do you want to have them search for you? I know what I would rather. I would much rather that they come looking for me, because my conversion rate is going to be higher. The time I spend on sales calls is going to be lower, and I would end up enrolling people that really wanted to be there. Yeah. So think about search and how you could use search in your business. Think about the places that they go. You can perform searches on all of these platforms. Which one would your ideal client be on? Which one would they be on? If you want to get more market insight into your particular area of expertise, you might want to go on these platforms: BuzzSumo, SEMrush, AnswerThePublic.com, or you might just want to go the lazy way, which is my way, and use the predictive search on Google or YouTube. So when you start to type a question, Google and YouTube will both finish it for you. Yeah. So I might, put in something like, a lot of the people that I help are coaches. So I might put in how to sell online coaching and see what the last part of the question is. Yeah. And like sometimes it will be and online courses, or it will be for women, or online coaching for entrepreneurs. Yeah. So I would just go and have a look at what the predictive search is suggesting for you on Google and YouTube. But on those platforms, you can get some good insight into your market. Okay, next thing for you guys to think about is, when they search, what do you want them to find? What do you want them to find? Do you want them to find the top of your funnel? Yeah, have you got something that's very, very top of funnel? Do you want them to find a lead magnet? Yeah, a landing page for a lead magnet. Do you want them to find a free pre-recorded training that you've got in your Instagram bio, for example? Do you want them to find a value-based post? Could be an article that you've written on LinkedIn, could be a blog that you've posted on Pinterest. Like, what do you want them to find? Do you want them to land on your profile? Yeah. Live launching is only relevant on a particular date and time. Yeah, for the week that you're live launching, for the week that you're enrolling, that's, that's where you make the money. That's where your energy goes. That's where, your business is focused. But when you focus on search, you're focusing on content that's got a much bigger shelf life. Every bit of effort that you put into creating long shelf life content, for example, an article on LinkedIn is always going to be searchable on Google because LinkedIn's authority is high. So Google will serve back a LinkedIn article. I won a huge consulting client off the back of them finding an article on my LinkedIn profile that was really, really old. And inside that article, there was an invitation to an event that I was running, advertised on Eventbrite, that was old and expired. The link was dead. And still that customer got in touch with me and said, I read your blog. I saw that you run an event on it. I wish I was able to have come to it, but obviously it's old. Can we meet up and have a cup of coffee? And that was evergreen content that was so old that links were all dead. And still, I signed a client out of that. I wouldn't have signed that client if I was hoping and praying that my Instagram post would get seen. So think about search and think about long shelf life content. How can you make the most of content that is always going to be there for people to find? I had a sales call with somebody yesterday, and I knew that I knew her. I knew I recognized her name. I knew she was in my Facebook group. And she then offered up the information to me. She said, do you know what, Rachel? I worked out, I've been following you for 18 months. I've been to so many of your trainings. I've been in your email list forever. 18 months it's taken me to be at this point. So it does go to show, like, sometimes people find you, they find some content, they book a call really quickly. And other times it takes a while. And if you've got plenty of trust building content out there, you can really speed up that process. Just told you a story, don't need to tell you another one. So the key is create the asset once and make it work for you over and over and over again. What assets do you have in your business that you've created but you aren't utilizing? Yeah, when you tried a live masterclass, where's the recording for that? Are you doing anything with it? Have you evergreened it? Have you put it on a landing page so that people can watch it over and over and over on repeat if they want to? Have you attached an automated email sequence to it so that you can nurture those relationships? So create the asset once and make it work for you over and over again. Okay, so I want you to list out on your piece of paper 1, 2, or 3, whichever you feel that you can, actions that you are going to implement in your business to help you maximize search and maximize evergreen content. Okay, when you write things down, you feel much more committed to doing it. That's why I'm getting you to write it down. Okay, moving on. We've done the S's. We're now into the H's of the shush method. The first H is help. A typical high ticket client is looking for 3 things, right? This is what we must always remember. Typical high ticket client is looking for speed of result, simplicity of method, and security or certainty. Yeah, security that you're going to be able to help them get it. So show them quickly in their search results how you can help them achieve that desired result. Think about those 3 things. When you build a lead magnet, how can you convince them and demonstrate to them that you can do those 3 things, especially if you're selling high ticket? So it might look like this. It might look like they search, they find a blog, there's a link to a free download, you then trigger an email, and within that there is a buy now link. It could look like a pre-recorded training video with an invitation to book a call. It could look like a free ebook. Yeah, that you create once and it works for you over and over. And once they download that ebook, they get an email with an invite to your offer. The more of these that you test and you try, the more you'll start to learn what your audience really, really want. It might be an Instagram carousel and the back page is an invite to an ebook. Yeah, again, that would trigger the email with the call to action. And we've already talked about a LinkedIn article. Yeah, there are so many ways. I could list 100 combinations of these. There are so many ways that you can show your audience how you can help them without you needing to live launch, without you needing to show up and give your energy all the time. The tip, as I said earlier, is test, review, repeat over and over again, and find what works best. Find what feels good, find what's fun for you, find what's going to get you the best outcome. Okay, the fourth part of the shush method is the final H, which is how. So my question for you is, are you telling your audience often enough how they can work with you? Now, this is so often overlooked. People love you, they love your content, they see you showing up on your social media, they see you, but they don't know how they're going to be able to work with you because you're not telling them. Because maybe you're not doing that very explicit post that says, here's how you can work with me this July. Yeah, here's my new offer coming out. You're giving educational content, maybe 5 ways to overcome X, but you're not actually then on the back page saying, if you're ready to take action on really overcoming this, I want you to get in touch with me because I'm offering this right now. Yeah. So live launching is great for nurturing relationships, positioning you as an expert, and accelerating trust building. Yeah, that is why live launching works so well, because it's live, because it's you. Yeah. And one thing that we do when we live launch is we tell people how you can work with me. So in a silent launch, you got to make sure that you don't lose that part of it. Yeah, you need to make sure, because you are not delivering that live masterclass or that live 5-day challenge, that you're not then forgetting to tell people how they can work with you. Okay. Rebecca, you're in this picture. Woohoo! Us girls in LA feature in the slide deck. So on the subject of trust, don't forget, in a silent launch, we want to tell people how they can work with us. And they're not going to do that if they don't trust you. So I want you to think about 3 people that you trust. And then I want you to reflect on, what did the journey to this trust look like? How long did it take? What powerful actions could you take to allow your audience to be in your energy, to start to feel that trust and connection with you without needing to do a big one-to-many live launch? Think about people that you trust. Think about how you trust and what it takes for somebody to earn your trust. And maybe ask some other people, do some market research into that. Try to really get under the skin of how you're going to accelerate trust, because that is what live launching is all about. It's about accelerating trust. Now, you can't take away the live launch and still maintain that same level of trust without some effort. So I want you to think about, how are you going to build trust with your audience? Okay. And how can you make it really clear for them how they can get your help? So it might look something like this. If you're ready to create, insert your results, and you want to access a proven way to do this quickly and with certainty, DM me the word launch. So very clear messaging, very aligned to what they want. Okay, so you can use that template, just insert your result, and obviously use a word that's relevant to what you do. And that style of messaging could start to work well for you. Never forget to share testimonials. I am always sharing testimonials. I am so proud whenever I get a testimonial. Somebody sent me a video one the other day. I was bawling my eyes out like a 3-year-old because it was just so lovely. You know, never forget the power of a testimonial. Even if, you know, what I'm showing you here is some scrappy screenshots. They don't look pretty, you know, they're not graphic designed, they're just screenshots, but they are so powerful. So every time somebody DMs you, every time somebody gives you a testimonial, screenshot it. You know, make sure that you are leveraging all of that good feedback that you get. So that's it, guys. That is the shush method: strategy, search, help, and how. It is yours to take away and use. And at the beginning, I promised you an invitation to a free gift. So if any of you really want to book a strategy call with me to get my opinion on what a silent launch could look like for you, then I will happily give you the link to do that. Or if you prefer something that's a little bit more passive rather than active, then I have a free mini course right now, which is all on the subject of selling in the DMs with ease, not sleaze. So if you want to dive into that mini course, I will share the link for that with Rebecca. And equally, if you want to get my opinion on, you know, you've got to do the work first. You've got to build your silent launch strategy. If you want to get my opinion on what a silent launch strategy could look like for you, then I'm happy to give you my feedback on that. So that's it from me today. Do we want to dive into some questions?
Oh yeah, I've got a couple actually, but oh my God, first of all, that was just so amazing, because I think we're so aligned in that way, in that I'm all about making business easier as opposed to harder. I mean, we can add so many bells and whistles to it, but it's like at any stage, particularly the women in this group, you know, you need to get the most amount of bang for your buck. And where you were saying about ensuring that your content has longevity, like literally mind blown, because I've realized even it's actually made me question quite a few things, because I've realized you know, there's even masterclasses that I've done previously as part of my live launch strategy, and I've done nothing with it. It's just sitting in a pop-up Facebook group somewhere that is completely dead in terms of the energy. So I'm now thinking, maybe I'll pull that off, and that could be part of a new funnel and a free resource. Because again, I guess it's the more you can repurpose and work smarter, not harder, the better, because that will feed into that piece that you said about building trust.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. I'm literally like mind blown. Like, I've been in coaching for years. I've probably got an entire blooming back catalogue of stuff just sitting around somewhere that could easily be at least generating leads. I'm sure a lot of the ladies in there have. So some of the questions around like implementing an evergreen funnel, essentially, because that's kind of like an evergreen process where you're, you know, like you say, not doing the jazz hands launching, which just sounds amazing. I know Sarah particularly, she's just in the car right now, but for her, like, we are two different ends of the spectrum. So I am like big energy, new energy, vibe off people. Like, I love to just get on a call, do a voice note, have a chat. Like, I'm all about the live launching like you, whereas Sarah hates it and she's like, ugh. So this is probably speaking her language right now, but there are some concerns and questions around the size of an audience in order to be able to make that a meaningful launch. So what would you recommend for somebody who has quite a small audience size?
So for small audience, I would say first of all, think about the different places that you can go to spread that message. Now, take Instagram, for example. You know, we all love a bit of Insta, but an Instagram post lasts for about 3 days and then it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Unless you save it to your highlights, or you know, somebody's searching a particular hashtag and they find it. Roughly, if you're speaking about the feed, 3 days and it's gone. Whereas Pinterest, a Pinterest pin lasts for about 6 months. So you can put content on Pinterest and it just compounds and compounds and compounds. So you can grow your audience really, really quickly and get a lot of eyeballs and thousands of people looking at your stuff. I did a Pinterest trial for 3 weeks about 2 months ago, and I got up to 6,000 views on my content in that 3 weeks.
Wow. And you definitely wouldn't have got that from Instagram. I think a lot of businesses are migrating away, aren't they? Because it's just not worth the investment of time. What kind of content would you put on Pinterest, just out of interest?
So I repurpose all of my reels and TikToks over there.
Oh, really?
They're called idea pins over there. And also blog posts, and within the blog there's a link to, you know, a funnel, the front end of a funnel. So like we might write a blog that's about one of our lead magnets, and then within the blog there's a link to that lead magnet, and then that drives traffic into the lead magnet, which drives them into the funnel. So it's just about thinking about, like I said in the strategy bit, who is that one person, what is the offer, where are they going to be hanging out, and then making sure that you've got enough content out there to really, like, you know, to meet them, to find them. You know, they're looking for you and you're looking for them, so you've got to give yourself enough opportunity. Now that doesn't mean I'm saying to everybody you need to be on every social media platform, because that's going to exhaust people more than a launch. Just do a launch. But you know, I think it really comes down to being intentional.
Energy flows where focus goes.
Absolutely right.
And you're very good at repurposing, like you say, like TikTok. You are the absolute bloody queen. I love your TikToks, they crack me up. Are you on there like all day? Because it looks like it's like it looks like you've continually got new videos. I'm like, and it's up my game.
It's just a case of, I think, being smart with your time. You know, like, so like I will create a video and then I will save it, and then it will go Pinterest idea pin, TikTok, Facebook Reels, and out it goes. And sometimes at different times. So it's just, and all of those things take minutes, like not even very long at all, because they're not Instagram. You know, it's Instagram that takes the time. Everything else is so much quicker.
And I think it's also about just done is better than perfect as well. Sometimes we really get in our own way, don't we? Procrastinating, trying to make it look perfect. And the reality is it's just about getting your voice out there, isn't it? So that you can build that trust.
Totally. One of the, you know, just going back to that question about audience size, if you have got a small audience and you want to know, like, the number one way to grow your audience is never going to be social media, ever. It's not. The number one way to grow your audience is what we're doing right now: collaboration. Collaboration. If you can get very grounded in what you're an expert in, and very clear and very confident about, you know, what do you know your stuff about, and then how can you find people that want your content, and then you go and offer your content and say, hey, your audience of people who work with you on X, I bet they also want to know why. And that person go, God, yeah, they would, you know, and you're like, okay, well, I could come and help you with that. And vice versa sometimes, you know, like they might want to come and help you too. And therefore that collaboration gives you both massive exposure. That's the fastest way to grow an audience.
Yeah, I always think that. And it's also going to be a more highly converting audience, because they're already bought into the fact that if I've recommended you, obviously, and also bought into your services as well, then quite chances are you kind of know your stuff. So definitely anybody that moved over would be much easier to convert.
Trust transfers, you know, like tomorrow I'm doing a lunch and learn for Enterprise Nation, and they've got 200 people registered. So when it comes to, if I spend every day this week posting on Instagram versus 1 hour tomorrow on a lunch and learn for Enterprise Nation, I'm going to get more outcome for that hour collaborating with them than I would posting on Instagram.
Absolutely. You could literally be live for the whole hour and still not get that kind of conversion. I was just going to ask, actually, so first of all, I love the fact that you're like OG like me with the Google search optimizations as well, because nobody like ever mentions about that. And I'm like, there is an internet out there, you know, like, oh God, don't Google me though. I'd be terrified at what comes up. My daughter Googled me at school the other day. I was like, what? So obviously I've had businesses and stuff, so I'm like, oh God, I don't even know what's up there.
I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it.
I was going to ask you though about how you create scarcity or urgency, just out of interest for that evergreen funnel. Because if you're selling the same thing week in, week out, what I kind of advise people to do in my group is to do like a week 1, week 2 strategy. So week 1, it's all about just pure value, you know, nurturing your audience and just being visible, like you say, building trust. Then maybe week 2 would have some element of scarcity or urgency, i.e. if you book a call this week, there's like bonuses or something else like testimonials, all of those things. How would you recommend that they actually get, if they just rely on an evergreen model, how they get people taking action?
Yeah, so one of the best ways to create urgency is create internal urgency, so internal to them. So when you make it in their mind, heart, body, everything, that they must have that thing, and that comes through the way that we write and the way that we share, that internal urgency for them is really what's going to motivate them. So that would be my number one. Like, how can you connect in with their emotions to such a deep level that they feel like today's the day? Today is the day. The other ways, obviously, you just mentioned like bonuses. It could be that you put on a special incentive, special price. It could be that you look at the calendar and you link it to something in the calendar. It could be, hey, it's my birthday weekend and I'm doing a special offer, or it's Easter and, you know, whatever. So you could come up with little events like that. There could be urgency created around something that's happening inside the program that you're selling. So for example, if you've got a particular guest expert, you might show up and say, I've got a guest expert in my group next month, but you ain't going to be able to see it if you're not in the group. So come and join the group. So there's lots of ways that we can create urgency. But I think the number one thing to do is to create a timeline. You know, like I work with all my ladies on a 12-week sprint method, because anything that we do in the moment always feels harder because you're trying to force ideas. Whereas when we sit down and we brainstorm, I do all my brainstorming on a sun lounger or at the spa. You know, I go and book a spa day, and that's where I do a lot of my thinking and plan ahead. It's always easier to create ideas when you're planning ahead, rather than like, oh crikey, it's Monday, what am I going to do to create urgency?
Oh my God, that's my greatest opportunity, because I'm a manifestor generator. So I'm all about the divine downloads. I'm terrible at planning and being strategic. I have to like feel into the energy of it and be excited. So I'm the worst at that. So I'm definitely going to take that as a takeaway, to be a bit more strategic, to really drive traffic to my funnel. So where you said about where do you want people to drive traffic, would you recommend sending them to a lead magnet or to your website?
A lead magnet opt-in page all day long.
Okay, perfect.
And for that to not have a menu to take them into your website.
Yeah.
I would, you know, I'm not anti-website. We've got a website, but our website is more for PR and media inquiries rather than to sell things. We sell things through landing pages. We drive traffic to lead magnet opt-in pages where there isn't, you can't leak the audience. There's nowhere to leak them. They are on that page, and a good opt-in page is a piece of psychology that takes somebody down the page through to the action that you want them to take. So having a, you know, why not go here? Why not go there? You know, look at our offers, and that doesn't work. We need one message down the page. Here's the button. So yeah, I'm not...
A confused mind always says no, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like the startups, so those that don't really have anything on any platforms at the moment, or they're really just in their beginning stages, what would you advise them? Because I know when I've worked with startups in the past, they really are in that confidence stage. So for you being here is really good value for them, because it's the silent launch method. And I was watching obviously the S at the beginning and the 4 stages, the nurturing, especially when it comes to lives, because I really enjoy lives. But if they don't necessarily have the audiences and they're only just starting to collaborate, would there be anything that you'd advise them to start doing first? Like, what would be the first point of call for them?
So the first port of call is have an offer. Have an offer. You'd be amazed how many people have come to me and said, Rachel, can you help me to sell? I've been on social media for 6 months and I'm not selling anything. And I say, okay, great. Can you send me a link to your offer? And they go, oh, well, I haven't got one. I'm like, well, that's why you're not selling anything then.
It's true, isn't it? It's almost like they want to do the I'll do anything that you need me to do method.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Yeah, I've definitely had that with startups where they are just like, or they'll just work with me one-to-one and then I'll just do whatever they need. And I'm like,
yeah, it's
Yep.
it's the case of have the offer first. Know what it is that you want to sell. Know who it is it's for. Have a price. Get really clear and confident that you want to sell that offer. Because if you show up and invite somebody to buy something from you and you don't really believe that it's a good offer, or you don't really want to sell it or deliver it, guess what? You're not going to sell it, because that's going to transfer through the energy. So get clear on the offer and the price and all of that. And then from there, create content that leads to the offer. So the offer solves a problem. Yeah, the offer delivers a result for somebody. So for somebody to even want that result in the first place, where would they have to be right now for them to be looking for it? And then create content around that. So it could be that you brainstorm the problem that they've got right now and what the impact of that problem is for them, how it makes them feel, how it affects them psychologically, how it affects their family, how it affects their income. And you brainstorm around all of that, and then you create your content around that and lead them to your offer. Loving the feet.
it's like, tell me without telling me that you're a mum. Thanks. Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. That has literally been so much value. I've made my own notes because I'm going to go away now, and I'm thinking I need to get on and bloody repurpose some of this stuff that's just sitting there not doing anything for me. And I thought I was the queen of working smarter, but hands down to you.
Like following along on multiple devices.
Yeah.
Keeping the journey. I do apologise. My sister's just landed back from Australia after 3 years.
So you're like
it's
jet
been a day.
setting family.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
a day moving round, but we've still got to work, right? This is the dedication level.
Absolutely. I'm going on holiday next week and I am still going to work while I'm there, because
Yeah, same.
it's not work, is it? I love what I do. It's not work.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't want you to think just let me in and out. I just wanted to say thank you very much. I really do appreciate your time and for being
You're welcome. You're so
Don't worry, I'm going to try and get her back. Don't worry.
Brilliant. All right,
this
then,
is just like part one. So thank you so much, Rachel. Really appreciate your time. Have a fantastic day. Any follow-up questions, I will obviously forward them over if that's okay. And if you want to send me all your links and everything else, we'll make sure that the ladies can find you.
Yeah, I will do. All right, sweetheart. Take care.
Thank
Love
you.
you, Sarah.
Thank you for listening to this episode. It's been amazing to share this time with you, and I feel honoured to be part of your journey. If you've loved what you've heard, had an aha moment, or found value in this episode, then please do like, comment and share. I would love to connect with you on Instagram and Facebook, so come and find me, and I look forward to helping you build your epic life.